Hello again. Day 21. Can you believe it? 21 days walking towards our freedom, loosening those chains of bondage that we have been in for so long and walking towards the promised land, towards freedom, learning to take each step with God in faith. I just was praying, okay, God, because this is like my 10th time of trying to record this. I was just praying, more of you, less of me, more of you, less of me. If we could just pray that all the time, we would be there. We would be reaching the promised land, because each step is about gaining more of God and less of ourselves. And so anyways, this week we are looking back again to our past experiences, events maybe, or struggles that have kept us in bondage, that have kept it tighter and tighter around us. And that's kind of how we've been working. And I know I say this each time, that we look back and we see what we've experienced, and we learn from that, so that as we walk forward, we don't fall into those same footsteps again. We learn to make new paths, new footsteps, and as we look forward, we work on those spiritual disciplines, and we grow stronger in God, so that we can leave those chains behind. And yesterday, I know we were in Genesis 50:20, which says that God can turn God can turn good from any evil that has happened to us, or any struggles. So today we're actually going to start in Proverbs. We're going to look at our past, and we're going to keep reflecting on those different things and learn the lessons that God has us to learn. We're going to start in Proverbs 3:11 and 12. And it says, "My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in." And I think about this, and I think, there have been lots of times that I have made choices that have affected me, and and I feel like I've been disciplined, and I feel like I've learned things from those. And and it says, just like a father, just like a parent disciplines their child. With our kids, we have tried really hard to give our kids logical consequences for their choices, because we think that really prepares them for life after. After you move out of your parents' house, your parents don't swoop in and take care of every problem. So we've really tried to allow our kids to walk through their consequences, walk with them, and help them to learn their lessons, so they don't have to do that again. And I kind of see that that's how God does that. That we make these choices, and we inevitably have good or bad consequences that come from those. And sometimes those are the lessons that are easiest to see, are easiest to learn. Sometimes we go through the same process over and over and over again. But anyways, you can see that when we make bad choices, God walks with us. He talks with us. He helps us to learn from those. So I hope that that was something that maybe as you looked back, inevitably, I have to tell you, my nose always itches when I start these videos. And I try to tell myself not to scratch it, but I can't help it. So there you go. Anyways, so I hope as you look back in your past, you can find those lessons and see, wow, that was a bad choice. And that's a choice that I don't want to make in the future. But there's more than that, because when, discipline is so much more than just negative consequences, or helping us to make better decisions next time. So we're going to go a little bit further ahead, and we're going to go to Hebrews 12. And it says, "Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons. For what son is not disciplined by his father?" So we look at that again, and we think back, and we go, okay, So when God says he's disciplining us, helping us to learn things, it's not just when we've made bad choices. It can also be when other people around us have made bad choices and we go through hardship. Or it could be, just living in a very sinful, difficult world. We go through hardship. Anytime we have felt hardship, we know that God is going to discipline us. He is going to help us grow. We are either going to learn more about who He is and what His promises are, or we're going to learn a lesson that helps us to grow so much more. Or, there's something positive that can come out of everything. Again, I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying you have to look back at every experience and go, wow, I'm so glad that happened. Or, man, that is so awesome. I'm so thankful that God did that to me. No, God doesn't necessarily do those things to you, but He can draw good from the evil. So continue this week looking back and going through these times and finding the lessons so that you don't have to keep learning these lessons. I have to tell you, the funny thing is, I was thinking about this today and God was really leading me to it. And, it says no discipline in verse 11 says no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Isn't that awesome? Once we get through this, once we are disciplined by God and we learn our lessons and we start walking more in peace and more in righteousness, we will gain that peace that comes from God. And but I have to tell you, when I'm reading my Bible, I highlight it, I mark dates, I write little words beside it. Beside that, I have written 2007, eating, 2010, worse, 2011, still eating. I have struggled with this so much. I have lots of other struggles and hardships that, I've been through, but this has been that ongoing issue for me, and I'm not saying that being obese is against God, but the fear that you won't have those good foods, or that lack of trust in God, those are things I have struggled with my whole life. And oh yeah, you guys can hear my clock. Anyways, boy, I'm distracted today. But with this freedom, this journey that we're walking in, I am gaining more peace. I am learning to, oh yeah, and it's 12, so you're gonna hear it ding for 12 times. Anyways, gosh, I'm not gonna stop this though, because this is me. I'm kind of scatterbrained sometimes. And but I hope that you're finding in this journey that you're finding more righteousness, God's righteousness, as we learn to walk more in Him. And because I'm finding it, and I hope that you are too. And I just want to leave you with one more verse. In Hebrews 5:8, it says, He learned obedience from what He suffered. And it's talking about Christ there. But I fully believe that as we go through and we learn these lessons and we learn to obey God, we will gain more obedience through our sufferings, through our hardships, like He says. So, don't stay stuck. Look back. Don't, look back at those times, learn from them, grow from them, because that is the peace that God has for you. Amen. We'll see you tomorrow.